My beloved child, tonight I call you by the true name of your soul, not the one the world gave you, nor the one whispered by fear in the nights you wept in silence. This is the hour of awakening. The night is deep, but not yet over. Dawn has not come yet, its breath already touches the realm of the divine. You think you are merely living through another night, but I tell you, this is no ordinary night. This is the final night of darkness, the night you must face yourself before stepping into a morning where tears no longer exist. You think the end is something to fear, but only what is imprisoned by fear dreads the light. I have not come to reclaim your soul, but to return its freedom. I have not come to end your life, but to end the things that once led you astray within it. You have grown weary trying to understand why things unfolded as they did, why faith was shaken, why love turned away. But nothing in those years was wasted. Every moment was a chapter in a journey written by my own hand. You have walked through storms you thought would swallow you whole. There were nights when you lay still beneath a darkened ceiling whispering, "Why can't my heart find peace?" You tried to forget, to forgive, to move forward, yet a hollow space remained. You believed that if you just tried harder, smiled longer, prayed more faithfully, worked more diligently, pleased others more completely, perhaps your heart would finally stop aching. But I tell you this, not every effort is born of faith. Some efforts are simply fear in disguise, fear of being left behind, fear of being forgotten, fear that if you stop striving, everything will collapse. You have carried burdens I never asked you to bear. You sought acceptance in fading eyes instead of assurance in mine. You forgot that I never required perfection to love you. I love you not because you are flawless, but because you are mine. Tonight, as your final sigh melts into the air, I want you to know I have been there in every breath you thought was lost. When you were silent because words failed, I still heard the cry within your soul. When you turned away in shame, my eyes never turned from you. When you lost faith in yourself, I still believed in the seed of goodness I planted within you. You ask me, why did you let me endure so long? Why were you silent when I cried? And tonight I answer, because in that silence I was teaching you to recognize my voice amid 1,000 noises. In that loneliness I was stretching your heart wide enough to hold my presence. In that darkness I was training your eyes to discern true light. You thought I was absent, but I merely stepped back so you could learn to find me not only in miracles but in stillness. Understand, this faith is not measured by ease, but by the strength to stand when everything else falls apart. Tonight I do not call you to act, I call you to stop running. Stop running from pain, from memory, from me. You have become accustomed to striving in order to feel worthy, but I want you to know you need not prove what I have already declared. You are mine. No human judgment can undo that. No past can rewrite the destiny I have written for you. No sin is greater than my mercy. You do not need to fear what is coming. Let this night be the place where you stop, sit in stillness, and realize you have come far enough. Not to turn back, but to return. Return to where I am waiting. You need not pray perfectly, only sincerely. You need not find beautiful words, only an open heart. You need not know every answer, only trust that I am the answer. You have lived too long among conflicting voices, the voice of fear, of regret, of accusation. They whisper that you are not enough, that you have missed your chance, that all is over. But I tell you, as long as I am still speaking, nothing is over. Tonight I do not ask you to understand. I ask you to believe. Believe that I am still working, even when you cannot see. Believe that light is already rising in the midst of night. Believe that every tear you have shed is kept within the vessel of my grace. You think you are losing, but you are being set free. Nothing you have lost has left my hands. I am clearing space for what is greater. You think I am taking away, but I am replacing. You think I am silent, but I am rewriting your story in the ink of holiness. And you, my chosen soul, are a vital chapter in that eternal song. I do not promise that tomorrow will be easy. I do not say you will never feel pain again. But I promise you this, from this night on, pain will no longer be your master. It may knock, but it cannot stay. It may remind, but it cannot rule. For from this moment I place my seal upon your heart, a seal no one can erase, no power can steal. You have wept over what you thought were endings, but they were only beginnings in disguise. What I removed was merely the shell of a grace ready to bloom. Like a seed that must break before it sprouts, your soul had to be broken so light could pour in. You have seen enough of the false. Now you will learn to see what is true. Tonight, as you hear these words, know that I am not far, but near, so near, that when you inhale, I am in that breath. When you close your eyes, I am in that stillness. You do not need to search for me. You only need to release so I may find you. Lay down your worries, your plans, your questions. Let your heart be bare, for only then can I touch its deepest place. You are not forgotten. You are not delayed. You are not left behind. You are being prepared for something beyond understanding. And tonight is the beginning of it. When dawn filters through your window, you will not be the same. Not because the world has changed, but because you have. The light will not only shine from the sky, but will rise from within your soul. Tonight is my invitation, the beginning of a new season, the call home. There is no room left for fear, no place for doubt. Only one thing remains: surrender. End the war within your mind, and let me fight for you. Stop trying to save yourself and let me do it. I have not come to judge, but to resurrect. Not to quench a faint flame, but to breathe it alive. And tonight I say to you, rise within your spirit, and do not fear the darkness, for its time is ending. Dawn is near, and when the sun rises, you will finally see I was never gone. My beloved child, tonight is my invitation, the beginning of a new season, the call to come home. There is no longer room for fear, no longer space for doubt. Only one thing remains: surrender. End the battle within your mind, and let me fight for you. Stop trying to save yourself, and let me be your savior. I did not come to condemn, but to resurrect. I did not come to extinguish the faint flame, but to breathe it alive again. And tonight I say to you, rise within your spirit, and do not fear the darkness, for its time is ending. Dawn is near, and when the sun rises, you will understand I was never gone. When the first light touches the horizon, do not think it is merely a phenomenon of the universe. That light is my message to you, a sign that the old has passed and the new has begun. This dawn does not only drive away the darkness outside, it awakens the part of your soul that has long slept. For years, you have lived between two worlds, outwardly smiling, yet inwardly alone in a place no one could reach. You have tried to appear strong even as fragments within you remain unhealed. You prayed for peace, yet clung to the very things that stole it. You said you trusted me, yet feared losing control. You sang of freedom, yet chained yourself to memories. My child, true faith is not born when you understand everything, but when you open your heart amid what you cannot understand. My light can only enter where you are willing to let go. I will not force your soul to see the light if it still longs for shelter in the shadows. Light does not come to frighten you, it comes to heal. But to be healed, you must allow the light to touch the places you have hidden. I am not afraid of the dark corners within you, for I have seen them long before you knew they existed. I entered them even when you locked the doors of your heart. You thought I left you when you fell, but no, it was. In that very moment, I knelt beside you. When you had no words left to pray, I became the cry for you. When you had no strength left to believe, I became the faith that held your soul. You do not need to seek me on mountaintops or in elaborate rituals. I am here within your breath, within the rhythm of your beating heart. The dawn is not only outside your window, it is rising within you. Readiness does not come from strength, but from surrender. You do not need to prepare perfectly. You only need to be sincere. Be willing to let go of what once comforted but now confines. Be willing to let me rewrite your story. Be willing to let me touch the places you feared to face. You say to me that you are tired, I know. You say that you have tried, I see. You say that you are afraid, I understand. But I also see what you do not yet see, that within you still burns a small flame that has never gone out. No matter how fierce the winds of life have blown, that flame remains because it was lit by my own breath. You thought hope had left, but hope was only sleeping, waiting for my call. And last night when you heard my voice, hope opened its eyes. It is alive again within you. You now stand at the threshold between night and day, between fear and faith, between old and new. This transition is not painless, for every birth comes with labor. But do not fear that pain, it is the sign that your soul is coming alive. Just as the seed must break before it grows, your soul must be broken so that light may enter. Do not resist this process. Do not cling to the old form when I am making you new. Every wound you bear is not a mark of failure, but proof that I have touched you. Every scar is evidence that you have survived in my hands. You are no longer who you were yesterday. You are becoming what I destined you to be from the beginning. Understand, this light is not only grace, it is also a calling. It does not come to make you comfortable, but to send you forth. I did not awaken you merely so you could rest. I awakened you so you could rise. You were not reborn to remain still. You were reborn to carry the light you have received into the places where darkness still reigns. Do not think you are too small to make a difference. Even the smallest flame can tear apart the night. You are the lamp I have lit, and I do not light a lamp to hide it under a table. You were made to shine, to warm, to testify that I still live, still love, still redeem. You are no longer only the one who prays for a miracle. You are the miracle I am performing in this world. Yet be watchful, for light has its enemies. The old voices will try to pull you back. They will whisper that you are not enough, that you are unworthy, that the past still claims you. Do not believe them. When I called you out of the tomb, you could not bring your burial cloth with you. The old must be left behind in the night. Let the dawn become the grave of every lie that once bound your soul. Let light become your new garment. Let grace become the breath you inhale each morning. From now on, you will no longer live by your own strength, but by mine. When the light exposes, do not be afraid of what it reveals. When I shine, I do not shame you, I set you free. My light does not come to condemn, but to cleanse. It does not come to expose, but to heal. It does not come to make you fall, but to make you rise. I do not want you merely to enter a new day, I want you to become part of it. Do not cling to the night because it feels familiar. The night is not your home. Light is where I have made you to dwell. So when you see the first ray pierce through the mist, say to yourself, I no longer belong to the darkness. Say it again and again until your soul believes. Let your lips speak words of life instead of lament. Let every breath become thanksgiving. I know you have not yet seen the full picture. I know you are still waiting. But trust this, my word never returns void. Just as the sun cannot be stopped from rising, my plan cannot be stopped from coming to pass. The night may be long, but dawn always triumphs. And when the light pours over the earth, you will understand, I was never gone. I was waiting for you to be ready to see. You do not need to seek acceptance, for you have already been accepted. You do not need to prove your worth, for I have chosen you. You do not need to wonder if anyone understands you, for I do. You are the poem I have written in light, the song I have breathed into being. No failure is strong enough to erase my handwriting. No past is long enough to block the future I have prepared. This dawn is not merely shining around you, it is awakening within your soul. Let me rewrite you in the ink of morning. From now on you will speak with the voice of one redeemed. You will walk not bowed in shame, but upright in grace, not out of pride, but because you know I am with you. You will look into the mirror and see my reflection in your eyes. You will no longer ask, Am I enough, but will declare, you are enough for me. And that my beloved is the true dawn, the dawn of the soul, where my light and your heart finally meet. My child, now that my light has touched your heart, I must tell you what you have long avoided, the one thing that can open the full door to true freedom: surrender. Not the surrender of despair, but the surrender of faith. There is a vast difference between giving up out of exhaustion and letting go in trust. To give up in weariness is to drop everything in bitterness. But to let go in faith is to place everything into my hands, knowing that I will hold them better than you ever could. You have fought long enough. You have tried to control, to predict, to reason your way through, and the more you tried, the more entangled you became. Now I call you not to strive harder, but to stop. To cease struggling against the current, for only when you stop thrashing can I lift you up. My beloved child, I know you fear surrender. You fear that if you let go, everything will collapse. You fear that if you do not hold on, others will leave. You fear that if you stop controlling life, will drift to places you do not want. But my child, you were never created to control, you were created to trust. I have never placed on you the burden of understanding all things. I have only invited you to walk step by step under my guidance. Surrender is not loss, it is gain. When you yield to my lordship, you do not lose your freedom, you move it from chaos into holy order. When you entrust all things to me, I do not take them away, I set them in their right place. The more you arrange everything according to your own will, the more disorder you see. But when you place them in my hands, order appears not according to your plan, but according to my wisdom. I know this is difficult, for you have learned to trust yourself more than the unseen one. You were taught to be strong, to stay in control, to stand on your own, and you mistook trust for weakness. Yet in my kingdom, weakness is not failure, it is the doorway through which true strength is revealed. When you let go, you do not fall into an abyss, you fall into my arms. When you cease trying to be master of everything, you finally see that I have held all things all along. I do not call you to a passive resignation, but to an active surrender, a deliberate yielding full of faith. Such surrender does not make you smaller, it makes you belong. It does not strip you of identity, it returns to you your truest image, the one reflected in my eyes. There is a part of you that still resists, always wanting to understand, before believing, to see, before stepping. But I say to you, blessed are those who have not seen and yet believe. For true faith does not require the light of the eyes, but the light of the soul. You must learn to trust me even when I am silent, for my silence is not absence. I am refining you like a goldsmith who keeps his gaze upon the fire, not to destroy but to purify. Do not fear the loss of control, for only when you loosen your grip can I reveal what is true. Do not fear endings, for I allow nothing to end without the purpose of resurrection beyond it. When you surrender, you do not step into nothingness. You step into the center of my will, where your soul ceases its struggle, lays down its resistance, and enters into rest. You ask me, how do I surrender? I say, begin with truth. Come to me without concealment. Do not pretend to be steady when your heart is breaking. Do not craft polished prayers when your mind is in turmoil. I do not seek perfection of words. I seek honesty of breath. When you exhale your pain and still whisper, I trust you, that is the most beautiful prayer. When you are weary and yet lift your head to say, you are with me, that is the song of surrender. Pour out your whole heart, even what you think. I do not want to hear your anger, your doubts, your fears, even your disappointment with me. Say it all, I can bear it. I am not fragile, and my love is not brittle. You cannot make me turn away simply because you are hurting. It is within your unfinished words that I pour out perfect peace. Surrender is not bowing in defeat. It is lifting your head in trust. In surrender, you do not live compelled by control, but led by my hand. It is not deprivation. It is commissioning, for only when you let me be, Lord, do you truly become my child. You will see that everything I have removed was to make room for what is better. I take away the temporary so you may receive the eternal. I close the wrong doors so you may enter the true path. I remove those who do not belong to this journey, so you may meet those who reflect my heart. Everything I do bears the seal of love, even when you do not understand. You need not understand now. You need only surrender, for understanding will come after when faith has been established. You must learn to surrender in the smallest details of life, not only in crisis, but in the ordinary. When you wake, let me order your day. When you speak, let your words reflect my kindness. When you work, let me be within every breath. You will discover that surrender is not merely an action of the night, but a rhythm of the day. You surrender not only with tears, but with each decision, each response, each glance. Surrender is not merely the moment you kneel, it is the way you walk. You cannot claim surrender while still fearing loss. When you truly surrender, loss is no longer loss. It is only a transfer into my hands. I do not ask for surrender to take your joy, but to restore your truest joy. I do not call you to let go, so you will be empty, but so you may be filled. For when you stop clinging to the small things, your hands become wide enough to receive the greater. When you cease chasing the approval of others, you will hear my voice clearly. When you stop striving to be loved, you will feel the love that has always covered you. You once begged me for peace, but peace does not come when you control everything. Peace comes when you know that I control all. Let your soul surrender, not as a defeated captive, but as a child coming home. You have wandered far enough, you have fought long enough. Now is the time to stop, breathe deeply, and let me take your hand. Say to me, even in a whisper, I place into your care all that I cannot hold. When you speak these words, your heavens will open. I will pour out a peace the world cannot give, and you will know that you are free, not because you have won, but because you have surrendered. From this moment you will live not by striving, but by grace, not walking in fear, but in trust. And in the quiet breath of your soul you will hear my voice again, the gentle voice that has been there from the beginning, waiting for your return. My beloved, when you have learned surrender, I desire to lead you to the next step, the step of cleansing and restoration. For surrender is the open door, but cleansing is the path by which you enter fully into glory. There are things that cannot be carried into the new season. There are wounds that cannot remain if you would be healed. I do not call you out of the night so that you stand still beneath the dawn. I call you to pass through, to be washed of the traces that still cling to your soul, the old habits, the distorted thoughts, the invisible cords that have bound you without your knowing. Cleansing is not punishment, it is blessing. Like a stream washing the dust from a stone, I am washing you free from all that has dimmed the light I placed within you. I know cleansing is not an easy journey. When the waters begin to flow, they will carry away what once felt familiar. You may feel empty, adrift, or deprived. You will ask me, "Are you taking everything from me?" But I say to you, I am removing only what once made you stumble. I do not strip, I heal. What is carried off by these waters was never truly part of you. It was only dust gathered along the way. You must trust that what I cleanse away is never what you truly need. I will not remove from you what you cannot live without, unless that very thing keeps you from living fully in me. I prune not to wound you, but to make you bear much fruit. At times to restore, I must break first. To let the light in, I must open the fracture. To set your soul free, I must let the winds of grace pass through the rooms you once kept locked. I see within you hidden corners. You have not dared to face places where shame, hurt, anger, or bitterness still dwell. You have covered them with hurried prayers, with smiles, with busyness, but I see them all. Today I do not come to scold, I come to open those doors. I will not burst in with wrath, I will knock softly with kindness. You must allow me to enter, for I step only where I am invited. Say to me, please cleanse me. When you say this, you are allowing me to change the very current of life within your soul. Water from my spring will run through you, washing away fear, carrying off sin, soothing pain, and rekindling life where you thought all was dead. You do not need to purify yourself. You need only to stand in my river. Let me do this for you, my beloved child. Do you know this? True cleansing does not happen once, it is a process. Each day, I invite you closer. Each day, I wash you with my word, with truth, with love. You once thought that cleansing meant being flawless, but in truth it means allowing me to touch your flaws with grace. When I touch, impurity disappears, and purity is born not because you are good enough, but because I am holy enough. You cannot make yourself clean by effort. The water that purifies does not flow from your hands, but from my heart. You need only let me pour it out. I also want you to understand that cleansing and restoration always walk together. I do not cleanse you to leave you empty. I cleanse you to fill you with new life. Just as dry soil must be cleared of weeds before seed can be sown, your soul must be cleared so I can plant what is new. I am sowing in you a stronger faith, a deeper peace, a greater compassion. You will find yourself changed, not because you forced transformation, but because I am renewing you from within. When you are truly restored, you will no longer see the world through the lens of pain, but through the light of grace. You will no longer react from fear, but respond from love. That is the mark of a soul made clean. Know this, beloved, restoration is not returning to what was, but becoming what you have never been. I am not rebuilding your old self. I am revealing your true design. That is why you cannot find the you that used to be. Because I am not recreating the past, I am birthing a new present. You cannot live by the old light, for it was only enough for the old journey. Now I give you new light, new strength, and new wings. You will no longer merely walk, you will soar. But before you can fly, the wings must be washed free of the dust. That is what I am doing now. You will notice that in this cleansing process, I sometimes make you lonely. That is not abandonment, it is separation. When I desire to do something deep in you, I set you apart from noise, from those who cannot yet understand, from the things that distract. Do not be afraid when fewer people surround you. It is a sign that I am drawing nearer. In the quiet, you will hear my voice clearer than ever. In solitude, you will learn that I am enough. In the wilderness, you will discover living water. In emptiness, you will be filled. Do not flee this process. Stay in the stream. Let it flow through you until your soul becomes light as wind, clear as crystal, still as a lake after the storm. When I see my reflection shining in you, that is when I know you are fully cleansed. That is when I know you are ready for the season of restoration. And when I begin to restore, nothing can stop it. I will restore your honor, your joy, your hope, and even the dreams you thought had died. Nothing is lost in me. I do not merely return, I multiply. You will laugh in the place you once wept, sing in the place you were silent, and live in the place that once was barren. That is my promise. Let me finish this work. Do not step out of the water because it stings. Do not interrupt the cleansing before it is complete. For if you remain, you will witness the miracle. Pain will become the doorway to glory. Weakness will become the stage for my power. And your soul, once washed, will shine like the morning after rain, reflecting not only the light of heaven, but the light of me. My beloved, when your soul has been cleansed, I want to reveal to you a deeper mystery, the new dwelling place of the Spirit, the home within your heart where I abide. You once thought I lived far away in lofty heavens, in holy places reserved for the perfect. But no, I do not dwell in temples made by human hands. I do not live in distance or ritual. I dwell within the humble, within hearts that open to welcome me. You do not need to climb a mountain to meet me. Simply be still, and you will find me already there. I do not come as a guest, but as a father returning home. When I enter, I do not see flaws, I see potential. I do not see wounds, I see places to heal. I do not come to condemn the broken house, but to rebuild it. Know this: when I dwell within you, everything begins to change. The light I bring will reach every room of your soul, even those you once kept locked, and that light will expose not to shame, but to renew. You will sense movement, gentle yet deep like a wind, stirring through your heart, carrying the warmth of my breath. The old, the fearful, the twisted will be swept away, and in the space that remains, I will build anew. Do you know why I choose to dwell within you? Because you are my most beloved creation. I did not make you merely to know me, but to become the vessel through which my glory is revealed. When I made the heavens and the earth, I said, "Let there be light," and the universe obeyed. But when I made you, I did more than speak. I breathed my own breath into you. That breath is life fire and my eternal signature within you. So the dwelling I choose is not a palace of stone, but the place where my breath still echoes your soul. You have searched for me in songs, in sacred places, in holy people, but I am here in your breath, in your heartbeat, in your silent tears. I am not far for you to reach. I am so near that when you whisper, "Lord," I have already answered. When I dwell within you, my presence will change everything. You will no longer feel alone, for where I am, love abides. You will no longer live in fear, for where I am, peace reigns. You will no longer wander, for where I am, there is light. You will realize that every emptiness you once tried to fill with people or success was always the space reserved for me. Everything you chased outside was only a shadow of what was missing within my presence. And now that I live in you, you will know there is nothing in this world that compares. No joy lasts long enough, no glory shines bright enough, no love goes deep enough, only I am enough. When I come, I will begin to set your house in order. Do not fear when I touch what you once protected. I will remove the ornaments of pride, dismantle the walls of fear, and open the windows sealed by doubt. All that is old must go, for I cannot dwell where darkness reigns. But do not fear, I will not break you. I will restore with mercy and adorn with peace. Every room of your soul will carry my fragrance. Every breath will echo with life. You will become a temple of light, a place where I delight to dwell. No one will defile what I have made holy, for I will cover it with my glory. You will see that when I live in you, everything around you will begin to change. Relationships once filled with tension will soften into understanding and kindness. Your words will grow gentler, your eyes warmer, your steps steadier. You will no longer strive to appear holy, for when I dwell within you, holiness will flow naturally. It will stream through you like living water, refreshing the thirsty souls around you. You will not only be transformed, you will become an instrument of transformation. I will use you to carry light into dark places, to comfort weary hearts, to remind the world that I am still here. But you must guard this house. You must learn to keep your heart, for it is my dwelling. Do not let the voices of fear, envy, or bitterness enter. Do not let the world's noise defile the place I have cleansed. Guard it with prayer, with gratitude, with awareness. When you feel your heart begin to tremble, come back to me in stillness, and I will calm the storm. You cannot protect the house by your own strength. You must let me be the keeper of its gates. Let me be the flame that forever burns upon the altar within, so that when the winds of the world blow, the fire does not die, it burns brighter still. My beloved child, I want you to understand that wherever I dwell, life abounds. Places within you that were once barren will become verdant gardens. Dreams you thought had died will bloom again. Regions of memory that once carried the scent of ruin will be transformed into the fragrance of grace. I will pass through every corner of your soul like a master craftsman, restoring each detail, overlooking nothing. I do not merely refurbish until it is presentable. I renew it until it is worthy of my glory. And when the work is finished, I will rest within you, not for a day, but forever. When I abide in you, your life will become a new song, not the crash of past shattering, but the melody of hope, not the weary sigh of fear, but the resonance of peace. Each time you walk in, my will heaven rejoices, for I see my own image awakening within you. You will not merely live, you will live in abundance. You will not merely exist, you will carry life wherever you set your feet. You will become a sower of grace, a bearer of blessing, a builder rather than a breaker. You will be living proof that I am real, that I am not only enthroned above, but present within the heart that opens its door. Remember this wherever I dwell, that is home, and now my home is you. Never forget that you do not walk alone, do not pray into emptiness, do not fight in isolation. When you speak, I hear. When you are silent, I still understand. Every tear you shed is kept in my vial, and every smile you offer is a hymn in heaven. For you are the place I have chosen, the temple. I am building the testimony that light can dwell in mortal flesh, and love can live amid a broken world. Live as one who carries me within, and the world will know that I am still with humanity. My beloved, when the house within you has been cleansed, and I have taken my seat there, I desire to do something deeper still. I desire to breathe the breath of new life into you. This breath is not the mere breath of the body. It is the living current of my own spirit. It was this breath that formed Adam from dust into a living soul, and now I am doing the same in you. You are no longer living by human breath alone. You are inhaling the life of heaven. With every breath, you move in rhythm with eternity. Each time you open your mouth to pray, it is not only your voice, my spirit is speaking through you. I am not merely beside you. I am moving within you, your strength in weakness, your light in darkness, the hidden heartbeat in a heart once broken. You have lived under the fear of not being enough, of lacking strength to continue, of a soul too weary to rise. But now I tell you, my new life is flowing in you. It is reviving what has withered. It is awakening dreams you believed were gone. It is teaching your heart to tremble again at what is good. You will feel this holy energy, not loud or dazzling, but gentle and profound. Like dew settling on a fragile petal, my presence will soothe each worry. You will know a peace you cannot fully describe, a strength you do not need to manufacture. For this breath does not come from you, it comes from me. My breath carries eternal life. When it enters your soul, it accomplishes what you could never do for yourself. It will change how you see, how you feel, how you love. I will teach you to love as I love to see, as I see to hear as I hear. The small things you once overlooked will become sacred. You will sense my presence in the moments that seem ordinary, in the morning light, in the wind's whisper, in the smile of a stranger. You will realize that everything bears my breath, for I am in all that meets your gaze. And when your soul moves in harmony with my breath, you will know that you no longer need to search for me. We have become one. Child, this is not a distant mystery. It is the truth I ordained from the beginning. I fashioned you for companionship with me, not as a trembling servant, but as a child bearing the divine breath. I do not want you merely to live well. I want you to live vibrantly, not to survive, but to overflow. For I am the Lord of life, and where I dwell, death cannot reign. I come to breathe life into what has gone dark, to kindle light in the shadows, to turn pain into a testimony of grace. When my breath touches you, you will do more than survive, you will overcome. Even so, you must learn to sustain this breath. As a flame requires air to burn, so your soul requires continual communion with me. Do not let yourself suffocate beneath the world's noise. Do not let worry and fear choke the holy breath I have given. Seek stillness not as an escape from life, but to inhale me and exhale peace. As you do, you will see the miracle. Even the smallest tasks become saturated with my presence. You will no longer divide life into sacred and secular, for when I live in you, every moment is holy. My breath will also teach you heaven's rhythm. Each breath becomes a step in the dance of faith. Inhale, receive life. Exhale, release burdens. Inhale, receive truth. Exhale, relinquish falsehood. Inhale, receive love. Exhale, let go of hatred. Let each breath become a living prayer. Do not pray only with your lips, pray with the cadence of your life. In doing so, you will sense me moving within you, minute by minute, moment by moment, breath by breath. I do not intend to breathe life into you only once, but every day, every morning, every time you grow faint. When you feel exhausted, remember, my breath never runs dry. It is always ready to renew you, reminding you that life is not sustained by your strength but by my presence. When you are weak, I breathe strength. When you are weary, I breathe rest. When you lose hope, I breathe new faith. And each time you will know again that I have never left you, not even in the quietest silence. Imagine your soul as an instrument, and me as the one who breathes through it. As I breathe, your notes will no longer be off-key or broken, but will harmonize with the music of heaven. This is the union I desire, not that you lose yourself, but that you become whole in me. When you and I are one, you remain yourself, yet as the perfected self I dreamed from the beginning. You will love without fear, forgive without hesitation, believe without doubting, live without regret. As you breathe with me, you will carry this breath to others. I will make you an instrument of life, a bearer of holy breath to weary souls. Your words will heal. Your presence will soothe the desperate. You will not need many words, for simply by being there, my breath in you will be at work. The world longs for clean air, and you will be the breeze bearing the scent of heaven. You cannot know how many will be revived because you allowed me to live through you. My child, breathe deeply. Feel me within you. Let your heartbeat align with mine. Do not try to control the breath, let it flow. Let me move freely within you. You will find yourself released from every anxiety, from every chain. Believe that this new life does not come and go. It remains because I remain. And as long as I am with you, nothing can destroy you. Therefore, live not as one afraid of dying, but as one who knows they have been given eternal life. Breathe freedom, walk in the light, speak with my breath. And as you live this way, the world will know that I truly live, and that my breath has never ceased among humankind. My beloved child, when the breath of new life has filled you completely, I must teach you about another stage, one that few desire to enter, yet none can avoid if they long to be perfected in me. It is the testing of the light. You have been cleansed by water, but now you will be refined by fire. Do not fear the fire. It does not come to destroy, but to purify. It does not come to punish, but to prove. For every soul that carries light must pass through flames, so that the light within is shown to be not mere reflection, but living fire from within. Fire does not destroy gold. My child, it burns away the dross, so that the gold shines brighter. In the same way, I allow you to pass through trials, not to take away what is good, but to remove what is false, that your soul may gleam with the brilliance of heaven itself. You ask me, why must I still suffer after I have believed? I answer you in love, because untested faith cannot stand. Love untested by fire remains fragile, easily swayed by the wind. I do not want your faith to live only on emotion. I want it engraved upon your soul like molten metal pressed into pure gold. When you walk through fire, you will see what you thought was solid begin to melt. Your sense of safety, your reputation, your relationships, your plans, all will be tested. But do not be afraid, for what truly belongs to you will never be taken by the fire. The flames only consume what you were never meant to carry. I am the one who allows the fire, but I am also the one who governs its strength. No flame burns apart from my permission. I know exactly how much you can endure, and I am always in the fire with you. Do you remember the 3 young men in the furnace? They were cast into the flames because they were faithful to me, and the fire was so fierce that it slew even those who threw them in. But when the king looked closer, he saw not 3 but 4, and the 4th looked like the Son of God. Do you see? My child, I was there then, and I am here now. I never stand outside the fire, I dwell in its midst. And if I live within you, what flame can consume you? So when I allow the fire, do not beg me to extinguish it. Ask instead for the strength to stand within it. Let the fire teach you what comfort never could. It will teach you endurance, trust in the dark, and how to sing through tears. Fire will burn away pride, pretense, and self-reliance, leaving only humility pure as the morning dew. You will find that in the fire your prayers become truer, your tears more sacred, your faith deeper than it has ever been. Do not fear when what you depended on begins to fall apart. Do not despair when people you trusted walk away. Do not lose heart when your plans crumble to dust. For when everything else is stripped away, what remains is me, and when you have me, you have all. It is in the furnace that these words become more than theory. They become your heartbeat. You will no longer say, "I believe in God," as a phrase, but as a breath, the one thing that keeps you alive in the night. That is when faith becomes real. I know you fear pain, fear loss, but my child, fire does not only burn, it illuminates. In its light, you will see what peace once concealed. You will see my hand in the ashes. You will hear my whisper in the wind's roar. You will feel me nearer than ever, not because you are strong, but because you are finally weak enough to know that I am all you need. Fire strips you bare, but in that nakedness you will find truth. Your soul is most beautiful when nothing remains but me. When I permit the fire, I also set its end. Flames do not burn forever. They burn only long enough to fulfill their purpose. And when you have been refined, I will send the wind to cool the embers, and from those ashes, new life will bloom. You will rise not as before, but as one who has passed through the furnace of heaven, your eyes clearer, your words gentler, your heart deeper, your spirit steadfast. You will understand that fire is not your enemy, it is my servant. Then you will witness what only those who have walked through flames can see, that in suffering there is a grace comfort cannot give. In loss there is a peace abundance cannot provide. You will know that only when everything is taken away do you finally see what can never be lost. And you will smile, not because life is perfect, but because you finally know who holds it all. My child, there is no glory without the cross, no resurrection without death, no dawn without night. Every child of mine is called through fire, but none remain in it forever. You will pass through, not be consumed. You will emerge, not be destroyed. And when you come out, not a single hair on your head will be singed, only your chains will have burned away. That is the miracle of holy fire. Those who have walked through fire are never the same. In their eyes glimmers the light of understanding. In their voices sounds the steadiness of truth. In their steps rests the mark of one who has met me in the flames. You will no longer shrink from fire. You will recognize it as the sign of my nearness. You will know that when the fire comes, I am coming close, for I am the one who dwells in flame, who turns sorrow into glory and ashes into testimony. Therefore stand firm. When the fire blazes around you, close your eyes and remember, I am in it. Do not ask me to take it away. Ask that your heart may not go out. Do not wish to avoid the storm. Wish instead to stand in its midst with your gaze fixed on me. For when you stand firm in the fire, hell trembles. When you sing among the ashes, heaven resounds. And when you emerge, you will not only be delivered, you will be commissioned, carrying my fire into the world. My child, when you have passed through the fire, when my hand has touched the ashes, and turned them to light, then I will teach you something greater still, how to let that fire become living faith within you. For faith is not an idea or a declaration. It is power, the power that makes what I speak become reality. Faith is not emotion. It is the breath of heaven moving within the heart of one who has surrendered. It is an eternal flame that once ignited lights the whole soul and transforms the way you live. True faith is never born in ease. It is conceived in trial, matured in solitude, proven in flame. It is in the moments when you cannot see, cannot hear, cannot feel anything at all, that real faith is born. For faith does not need evidence to believe. It believes because I have spoken. It does not rest on outcomes, but on my nature. When you say I trust, you yet still control every detail that is not yet faith. When you still need to see before believing, that is not yet faith. But when you stand in the dark with nothing left but my word, and still choose to hold it, to walk by it, to praise, in spite of it, that is living faith. My child, I know you once thought faith was something vast, like a raging sea or thunder rolling across the sky. But true faith often begins as a small flame flickering in the dark. I do not require perfect faith. I ask for living faith. For even a single ember is enough for me to breathe into a blazing fire. When you dare to believe with the last of your strength, I will draw near and give you my breath. You need only keep the flame from going out, making it roar. This is my work. Faith is not believing everything you want. It is believing what I have spoken, even when it contradicts what you see. Faith is not illusion. It is truth not yet seen. The world says, seeing is believing, but in my kingdom you must believe, and then you will see. Faith is the key that opens doors reason cannot unlock. Faith is the bridge between what you have and what I have ordained. Faith is the first step onto the path I have already laid, even when your eyes cannot yet see it. Remember Abraham, he believed me, even when I told him to leave his homeland without knowing where he was going. He believed when I promised him descendants, though his years were many. He believed so deeply that he offered Isaac his most precious treasure, because he trusted that I have the power to raise the dead. And because of that faith, he was called a friend of God. Do you see, faith does not need to know everything. It only needs to know who I am. True faith does not demand to understand. It chooses to obey. When you hold to faith in the dark, you are handing me the right to transform your circumstances. You are saying, though what I see is far from what you promised, I choose to believe. You do not lie, and I have never lied, my child. My word never returns empty. If I have spoken, it will come to pass, though heaven and earth pass away. So when it feels as though everything is falling apart, remember, faith does not live by circumstances, but by my word. Keep my word like a flame in the night. Read it, whisper it, let it become your very breath. I know there are nights you bury your face and weep, saying, Lord, I believe, help my unbelief. I have heard that prayer. I do not rebuke you for weakness. I lift you up right there. Faith is not never doubting. Faith is returning to me whenever doubt appears. When you tremble yet still take my hand, that is faith. When you fall yet still crawl toward me, that is faith. When you are silent yet still lift your heart, that too is faith. Faith is not perfect, but it is alive, and anything alive I will cause to grow. Child, faith is not only for getting you through, it is for ushering you into my calling, into the mission I have appointed, into the fullness of life I have promised. Faith does not merely help you endure, it makes you rise. It does not only keep you from falling, it makes you soar. When your faith meets my word, miracles happen not because you deserve them, but because I am faithful to fulfill what I have spoken. When faith becomes living within you, everything around you will change. Fear loses its place, for perfect love casts out fear. Doubt dissolves, for my light drives out every shadow. You will walk without hesitation, no longer trembling before the future. You will say with David, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me." Psalm 2, 3, 4. And when you say it, it will not be recitation but reality, because you have known me with you in the fire, in the wind, in the waters, in every breath. When faith becomes living power, you will no longer seek signs, for you yourself will be a sign. People will look at you and ask, "How are you still at peace in the storm? How do you sing among the ashes? How do you love after being betrayed?" And you will answer, "Because I know whom I have believed." Then your faith will cease to be merely personal. It will become a torch for others. I will use you as a flame in the night, guiding wandering souls home. Guard that flame, do not let it die. The world will try to blow it out with fear, disappointment, and distraction. But remember, this fire did not come from you, and the world cannot quench it. It came from me, and I am the living one. Though storms rise and tears fall, your faith will still shine, for I am the one breathing upon that flame. And I promise you, if you remain faithful, nothing can steal what I have prepared for you. Therefore, do not live by sight. Live by my word. Let faith lead you, not fear. Let the fire of faith light your way through every night. For the night will pass, and my dawn will come. My word will be fulfilled, and your faith will stand as witness to the whole world that I am the living one, the promise keeper, the faithful God, and the one who has chosen you to carry my light across the earth. My beloved, true faith is not meant to be hidden in the heart, but to shine outward like a lamp on a hill. When faith has been refined by fire, when your heart stands steady in the storm, when your soul knows I am with you, that is when faith becomes testimony. Testimony is not merely a story retold. It is light reflected from what you have lived with me. You do not need many words, for others will see the light in your eyes, the peace in your voice, and the power embedded in the way you live. When I live in you, the world sees me through you, and this is the deepest purpose of faith, that you become a living witness to my love and my faithfulness. Remember, the strongest testimony does not come from the lips, but from wounds that have been healed. People will hear you speak of hope, but they will believe when they see you walk in hope through trial. They will hear you speak of forgiveness, but they will understand when they watch you embrace the one who once hurt you. They will hear you speak of peace, but they will marvel when they see you truly at peace, though everything around you collapses. In that moment, you are no longer merely speaking about me, you are carrying me to them. Your testimony will not need promotion. It will spread naturally like the fragrance of a blossom carried on the wind. My child, I did not give you faith merely so you would survive, but so you would shine. Everyone I choose carries a distinct light. No two are the same. Do not compare your light with another's, for I kindle each lamp for a different calling. Some are set to guide through deep forests, some placed upon mountaintops, some to illumine a single small room, but all are essential in my design. Never think your light is too small to be noticed. A single ray can still guide a desperate soul through the night. A gentle word you speak, a loving deed, a sincere prayer, each is a testimony. I know you have feared speaking up, feared being misunderstood, mocked or scorned. But my child, faith is not given to be hidden, it is given to be shared. When you speak of me, do not fear that others will not believe, for my Holy Spirit will do His work within their hearts. You need only do yours, speak love, live, and let me act. Do not think you lack wisdom or worthiness to witness, for the strongest testimony does not come from the perfect, but from the rescued. Your weakness is the very place where my power is revealed. Your cracks are the places where my light shines through. Look back. How many times did you think you would collapse, yet you stood? How many times did you think you had lost everything, yet there was still breath in you? How many times did you think I was silent when in truth I was at work? Each of these is a living testimony. When you tell the story, do not polish it to make it pretty. Do not hide your moments of weakness, for it is there that my grace is displayed in full. Others will see me not through your victories, but in the way you keep believing through your pain. Do not fear being seen as wounded. That very sight proves you have been healed. My beloved child, true faith not only transforms how you see the world, it transforms how the world sees you. When I live in you, others will not understand how you keep smiling through loss, trusting amid desolation, loving though you were once betrayed. They will be amazed, and they will ask. And when they ask, that is the moment you give them the most precious gift, faith in the one who saved you. You will speak no longer with fear, but with power, no longer trembling, but with assurance, not in your own name, but in mine, the living one. You will find that testimony does not flow only from grand events, but from the smallest acts of each day. When you forgive the hard to forgive, that is testimony. When you help the weak without seeking return, that is testimony. When you are honest in a deceitful world, that is testimony. When you pray for those who hate you, that is testimony. When you keep your heart pure in the night, that is testimony. The world does not heed sermons too lofty to touch, but it will listen to your life if you live truthfully, love genuinely, and believe steadfastly. As you live this way, your testimony will not only change others, it will change you. Each time you recount grace, you remember my kindness. Each time you speak of my faithfulness, you awaken faith within yourself. Each time you tell the story of your rescue, you are reminded that you have never been alone. Testimony is not only for them, it is strength for you to continue the journey. My child, I do not call you to be perfect before you witness. I call you to be honest. Tell of the times you fell, and I lifted you. Tell of the times you doubted, and I still loved you. Tell of the times you failed, and I still gave grace. For when you speak, the weary will find hope that they too can be saved as you were. Do not be ashamed to admit you were weak, for I am not ashamed to call you mine. Beloved one, your testimony is a wind that carries heaven's fragrance down to earth. It brings life to barren places and kindles faith in the dark. Each time you speak of me, angels rejoice, darkness trembles, and the heavens open to pour out more blessing. You will never know how a single word of yours can change a life, but I know. I see every seed you sow in another's heart, and I will bring them to life in their season. Remember, you are not called only to live the faith, but to spread it. Do not let the fire within you warm only yourself. Share it. The world is cold, and I would use you to ignite hope. Do not wait for favorable conditions, for I do not require good conditions to work miracles. I require only a willing heart. Rise, child of the light. Go and speak. Live as proof that love conquers hate, that grace overcomes sin, that faith overpowers fear. And as you do, you will discover that testimony is not merely something you do, it is who you become. You will be a living word, a letter I have written with my own breath, read by human eyes and heard by human souls. As you walk, the world will recognize that I am still at work, still redeeming, still lighting human hearts through you, my beloved child. My child, the time has come for me to speak to you about the harvest, the season of life, of fruitfulness, of promises fulfilled. Every tear you have shed, every prayer you have breathed in solitude, every time you chose to believe when you could not see, none of it has been wasted. Each seed of faith you planted in tears has taken root in good soil. Now is the moment I bring them to blossom in grace. Beloved, your harvest has come not by your strength, but by my hand. You have passed through the seasons of drought, wind, and fire. Now you are stepping into the season of life where I turn what you thought you lost into overflowing abundance. I have seen you sow while others mocked. I have seen you believe while others doubted. I have seen you pray in the night when no one knew. These things have not vanished. I have stored them in the treasury of heaven. Every small act of faith, every word spoken in truth, Every costly forgiveness I have received each as seed, and nourished it with my breath. And now I say to you, the fields are ripe for harvest. But you must go out and gather. Harvest does not come to those who stand still. It comes to those willing to reach into the heat, the dust, the testing fields to reap what I have promised. Do not think I forget. Not a single prayer you have uttered has gone unheard. Not a single tear has fallen without being counted. Not a single loss has been left without being turned to good. Everything I have allowed has been woven into the story of this harvest. The seed must rest in the dark earth before it can sprout, so it has been with you. The silent seasons you feared were the very times I was working in the shadows, sending the roots of your faith deep. Now as the light pours down, you will see tender shoots push through the soil and rise. Do not rush to pluck them, my child. I want you to learn to delight in the process, not only the result, my child. A seed never sprouts by its own will, but by the life I placed within it. So it is with your faith. It does not grow because of your effort, but because I make it live. Your task is not to force the seed to rise, but to keep the soil of your heart soft, unhardened by bitterness or doubt. When your heart remains tender, the water of grace will seep deep, and the seed I have planted will grow without your even knowing. Some seeds take time, but when they rise, they bear fruit in abundance. Do not despise small beginnings. A tiny mustard seed can become a great tree where birds find rest. A simple act of trust can open the door to miracles. The harvest is not merely a reward, it is a testimony. It proves that I am faithful. It proves that every word I have spoken is true. It proves that nothing you have endured was ever wasted. Yet know this, the harvest I bring is not like the harvests of the world. The world demands instant results, but I sow in your life things of eternal worth. My harvest is not gold or fame, but the maturing of your soul, the deepening of your love, and the peace that cannot be shaken. These are treasures the world cannot take from you, for they endure forever. When you look back, you will see it was in your tears that the seed grew fastest. It was in your lack that faith rooted deepest. It was in your loss that you learned how to love truly. Every sorrow you carried I have used to bring forth good fruit. And now I want you to see the wonder. From your old wounds flowers have bloomed. From the empty places rivers of life now flow. From what seemed dead the sound of life has returned. You are no longer who you once were. You are my field where grace multiplies without end. But my child, the harvest does not come only for your enjoyment. It comes so you may share. Every fruit you receive must become a new seed for others. When you give, the harvest does not end, it expands. When you love, the seed spreads farther. When you forgive, new sprouts rise in another's heart. When you speak of grace, I sow more hope within you. My harvest is the harvest without end, for my grace never runs dry. Learn to reap with joy, not with fear. Do not worry that this season will fade, for I am the Lord of every season. When you remain in me, your fruit will not perish. You will always have abundance, not to hoard but to give. Remember, those who sow in tears shall reap with songs of joy. And I say to you now, it is time to sing. Lift your voice not because of success, but because I remain faithful. Sing among the fields, for I am the one who has made them bloom. My child, let me say this so your heart may rest. There is no harvest in which I am absent. No flower blooms without my knowing. No ripe fruit falls without my seeing. When you walk through the fields, I walk beside you. When you stoop to gather, my hand touches yours. When you grow weary, I am your shade. When you thirst, I am your spring in the midst of the plain. And when you see others harvesting, do not envy. Rejoice, for their season is proof that yours is near. And when your harvest is full, I will lead you to new ground, to sow again, to wait again, to rise again, to reap again. For the journey of the soul never ends with one season. It is the eternal rhythm of life, grace, and love. You will understand that I have not only given you fruit, I myself am the fruit. I have not only granted you a harvest, I myself am the harvest, the giver of life, the fulfiller of every promise, the one who turns your tears into seeds of glory for my kingdom. Therefore lift up your eyes. The fields are white, and I am calling you in. Go gather, sing, and share. For this is the season of life, the season where I turn your faith into flowers, your tears into showers of blessing, and your soul into a fertile field in my light. My beloved child, now that you walk among the golden fields, I want you to pause and look around. For where you stand is not merely the land of results, it is the place of covenant between you and me. The field you are reaping is the very ground where I long to meet you, to speak with you, and to share the joy of this blessed season. Every seed you planted bears my fingerprints. Every stalk you gather is proof that I have never forgotten you. But now I want you to understand the most precious thing in this harvest is not the fruit itself, but my presence with you in every step among the fields. You have learned to believe, to endure, to wait. Now I want you to learn to delight. I did not create you for endless striving, but to know what true peace feels like, the peace that does not wait for calm skies, but remains steady through every storm. When you look back, you will see before you came to me with petitions, now you come in love. Before you asked me for things, now you ask only for me. This, my child, pleases me more than any offering. For I do not seek your work, I seek your heart. True love does not need to shout, it dwells in the quietest moments. When you walk through the fields, breathing in the scent of new grain, watching sunlight spill across the earth, that is when I am near. When you pause to lift your eyes from the harvest, I am looking at you and smiling. When you whisper gratitude for small things, I stand beside you and whisper back, I know. My beloved, I am not only the Lord of the storm, I am the Lord of the still dawn. I do not only reveal myself in miracles, I am hidden in every breath you take each morning. This field is not only your resting place, it is also your calling. For grace does not end when received, it continues when given. You are called to be a new sower in the very soil I have made bloom. Remember, the field you reap today was once the place where you wept yesterday. And likewise, the field others will harvest tomorrow may be sown with your tears today. Give, teach, share what you have learned, for no seed multiplies when kept in your hand. You once feared that giving would leave you empty. But my child, my kingdom does not work by the world's rules. In my kingdom, when you give, you gain. When you sow, you are multiplied. When you sacrifice, you are blessed. It is in giving that you become more like me. Do not forget, I gave myself to the world, and through that life overflowed. When you love without limits, serve without condition, and forgive without measure, you are planting the seeds of heaven in the soil of earth. And every small act I see and cherish, let love be the motive for all you do. Do not serve for recognition for others or out of fear, serve from love. For love does not seek reward, it is the reward. When you love, you no longer work, you live. When you love, you no longer count the days, for every moment becomes sacred. When you love, you no longer ask, how much is enough, for you know that I am your inexhaustible source. This love will never let you run dry, for it does not come from you, but from me, the river that never ceases to flow. I know there are moments you still feel weary, because the field is wide, the work is heavy, and the needs are many. But do not fear. I have not called you to do everything. I have called you to do your part with your whole heart. Do not measure by results, measure by faithfulness. In my eyes, a gentle word, a shared meal, a smile given in kindness, all these are miracles. For what I measure is not the size of your deeds, but the depth of your love. My child, the field of blessing is not only a place of harvest, it is a place of encounter. Here I will teach you to walk in intimacy with me. Prayer will no longer be just about asking, but about drawing near. It will no longer be about speaking but listening, no longer about doing but about being. When you learn to walk with me day by day, you will see that miracles are no longer rare because even the ordinary becomes sacred. When you wash your clothes, cook a meal, go to work, or help another, I am there. Everywhere you set your foot, I am with you. Everything you do in love is worship. Remember, calling is not only for the pulpit, it is for every place you live. A kind word, an honest deed, a gentle glance, all are assignments from heaven. The world does not need more theories, it needs to see real love. I send you not to win arguments, but to win hearts. When you live in love, you are preaching without words. When you keep peace amid chaos, you are speaking of me without a sound. My beloved, there is still much work in this field. Many souls wander thirsty and weary. I call you not because you are perfect, but because you know what it means to be shown mercy. I do not seek the strong, I seek the willing, and you are the one. Let me use you not as a tool, but as a partner. I will work with you. When you speak, I will touch. When you act, I will empower. When you weep, I will wipe your tears and turn them into seeds of comfort for others. I want you to understand, my child, that blessing is not found in what you have, but in how much you give. Every act done in love expands heaven on earth. Each time you choose forgiveness over resentment, you let light triumph over darkness. Each time you lift someone who has fallen, you contribute to my eternal harvest. This is your calling, not to stand out, but to shine, not to seek praise, but to help others feel my presence through you. Walk the field with a light heart, for I am walking beside you. Let the wind of grace pass through your hair, let my sun warm your heart, and let your song mingle with mine. This is the meeting place between father and child, between heaven and earth, between love and mission. You are no longer working for me, you are working with me. And that, my child, is the greatest blessing of the spiritual life, to sow with me, reap with me, rejoice with me, and love this world with me. My beloved one, I have brought you here not only to witness the growth of seeds, but to become a new sower yourself. The harvest does not end in your field. It marks a new beginning, the beginning of giving. Every grace you receive was never meant for you alone. It was given to flow through you to continue the river of life, that others might also be touched by heaven's breath. You have reaped by grace, now learn to give by grace. Do not hold what I have given as possessions, for when you cling, the flow stops, but when you release, it becomes infinite. The world teaches that giving makes you lose, but my kingdom works by a different law. In me the giver never runs out, the sharer never lacks. For when you give, you open your hands, so that I may place more within them. Everything you offer, your time, your heart, your gifts, I will multiply, not so you have excess to keep, but abundance to pour out. Remember, you were not created only to receive, but to reflect me, the source that never runs dry. When you learn to live with open hands, you step into a deeper realm of faith, the faith that knows an open hand is never empty. I have seen the times you gave in silence, when you shared, though you had little, when you helped, though no one noticed. I saw your trembling heart, afraid there would be nothing left. But in that very moment I smiled, for you understood a piece of my heart. For in giving you touched the essence of heaven. You see, I am the one who gives without fear of loss. I gave myself so the world might live. And every time you offer what is precious out of love, you become more like me. Grace, my child, is not a reward but a current. It does not stop with the receiver, it continues through them. When you forgive, you open a new flow of freedom for others. When you encourage, you sow faith into weary hearts. When you sacrifice, you open doors for miracles to spread. Every loving act, no matter how small, carries the power of heaven. The world may dismiss it, but I measure by the heart. There are deeds no one sees, but those are the most powerful seeds, for they are sown in silence. The truly rich in me are those who give without calculation. That is not foolishness, it is trust, for I am the provider. When you walk by faith, you will see that every need of yours is met in due time. You do not need to chase the source, for you walk with the source himself. Do not fear running out. A river only dries when it stops flowing. A heart only withers when it stops loving. Let grace flow through you, and you will never lack. There will be times you give and see no result. You may help someone who never thanks you. You may forgive, and the other remains silent. You may love and be met with emptiness. Do not lose heart, for I see it all. Your reward is not in their gratitude, but in my gaze upon you. When you give without expecting return, you share in the nature of true love, love without condition, love that only knows how to give. And I promise you, not a single act of love will be forgotten. Everything done for me is recorded in eternity's treasury. Giving is not only for others, it is also for you. Each time you open your heart, you free your soul from possession. Each time you share, you break the chains of fear. Each time you pour out, you awaken love within you once more. For love, if hoarded, dies, but when shared, it multiplies. I want the love within you to become a garden, not a vessel locked away. Let its fragrance fill the air, so others may know that I am still alive, still loving, still moving through you. I know that sometimes you give, and it hurts when you feel unappreciated or misunderstood. But do not let others' reactions pollute the grace within you. They may not understand, but I do. They may forget, but I remember. When you give for me, no one can steal that blessing from you. Give as a sower does not expecting immediate harvest. Trust that I am working beneath the soil where your eyes cannot yet see, but where seeds are already taking root. The day will come when those you once touched will rise to plant new seeds for others, and the circle of blessing will never end. My child, grace is not merely a gift I give, it is my very self within you. When you live with a spirit of generosity, you are allowing me to move through you. I do not need you to be strong, I need you to be willing. When you are weak, I will be your strength. When you are poor, I will be your abundance. When you are afraid, I will be your courage. You do not need to have everything in order to give. You need only have me, for I am everything. And when you have me, you have enough to share with the whole world. Look at the world around you. So many are thirsty for love, hungry for faith, drained of hope. Do not wait for someone else. You are my answer to them. Each time you extend your hand to help you speak on my behalf, you are not forgotten. Each time you pray for another, you are connecting them to heaven. Each time you choose to love you, bring heaven down to earth. You are a messenger of grace, a bearer of blessing to the most barren places. I have placed in you a spring of living water. Do not let it stagnate, let it flow. As you give, I will enlarge your heart. Love does not diminish when shared. It grows like a flame fanned by the wind. Every time you give, you kindle another spark in this darkened world. One day when you look back, you will see it was precisely while you were pouring yourself out that you received the most. You received peace, joy, and freedom, for to give is to live. And when you live this way, you step into my eternal rhythm, the rhythm of love that never ceases, grace upon grace. My beloved, this is the summit of the harvest, not when your barns are full, but when your heart is full. Not when you possess much, but when you share much. Not when you reap, but when you sow for the generations to come. When you do this, you do more than continue my work, you write the next lines of love's story upon the earth. And I who began this good work for you will be faithful to complete it. Live like a river ever flowing, ever watering, never fearing to run dry. For I am your source, and in me you will abound forever. My child, the time has come for me to speak to you about the fire, not the fire that destroys, but the fire that refines. The flame I kindle in your life is not to consume but to purify. It burns away what is false binding, fearful, and sinful, so that what remains in you is pure, sincere, and strong. I do not lead you through flame to injure you, but to make you radiant. Like gold in the furnace, your soul is being refined to reflect my glory. And dear child, do not fear the fire. If I allow it to come, it means I am in it with you. You have asked me many times, why must I endure so much? Why does this return again and again? I tell you, because in the fire you learn what calm cannot teach. Peace makes you grateful. Fire makes you mature. Peace teaches you to sing. Fire teaches you to listen. Peace brings joy. Fire brings depth. It is in burning seasons that you see your own heart clearly, what is true, what is false, and what is only a thin shell I am asking you to release. And while you tremble, I stand in the midst of the flame, never leaving you for a single breath. My fire is not like the world's fire. The world burns to destroy. I burn to cleanse. My fire does not kill, it imparts life. It brings dead things within you back to resurrection. It teaches you to love deeper, to forgive, truer, to believe stronger. When I allow trial to come, I am not punishing you. I am calling the deepest part of you to rise. I am making your soul shine like a diamond among the ashes. And once you pass through, you will not be the same. You will know a strength that does not come from willpower, but from my presence within you. Tell me, child, were your darkest hours not the very ones in which you felt me nearest? When you had nothing left to grasp, you discovered, I am the only foundation that cannot be shaken. When you lost what you loved, you learned that my love alone does not change. When you were betrayed, you found my faithfulness does not fade. And when the fire touched you, you learned you could stand not by your strength but by my grace. Do you see? The fire did not come to end you, but to form you. Without fire, there is no true shape to faith. Let me remind you of those who walked through flame before you. Abraham was tested in offering his son, and there his faith was forged like steel. Moses met the fire in the bush and was called to lead my people. Daniel and his friends entered the furnace and were not consumed, for I was with them. I am with you in the same way. When you feel the flames surrounding you, remember there is one walking in the midst of them. I do not watch from afar. I step in to accompany you. The fire may burn around you, but it will not burn you. It will only burn away the chains you never needed to carry. I know you are still afraid of loss of pain, of loneliness, of running out of strength. But my child, the fire does not consume what is true. It melts away what no longer belongs to you. It melts. Fear melts. Doubt melts. Pretense melts heaviness. In the end, when the heat subsides, you will stand among the ashes with a heart light as the wind. You will see that what was taken was not your blessing, but the husk that hid your blessing. Fire removes what you mistook for life to give you life himself, me. Within the fire, you will see me working in ways you do not understand. At times I am silent, yet never absent. At times you cannot feel me, yet I am holding you up. As the refiner knows exactly when the gold is pure, I know precisely when your soul is complete. I do not let the flames last a moment longer than needed. Every second of endurance has meaning. Every sigh is heard. Every fracture in you is a doorway for my light. Do not ask me to quench the fire. Ask me to be in the fire with you. For if I am with you, you need fear nothing. Once you know my hand is in yours amid the flames, the fire becomes light, not threat. It will illuminate your path, showing you what to keep and what to release. Fire teaches the value of what is pure. It teaches you to discern the temporary from the eternal. When you understand this, you will no longer resent the fire, but give thanks that it has made you someone who can stand in my glory without being undone. Remember my word. You will pass through the fire and not be burned, through the waters and not be overwhelmed. Isaiah 4:3-2. This is not a mere promise, it is a covenant. It means I will be with you always, not only in peace but in suffering. When others leave, I remain. When all else collapses, I still stand. When your heart breaks, I am the heartbeat that remains. No flame is fierce enough to keep me from you. So my child, let the fire finish its work. Do not flee the refining. Everything I am doing is aimed at a glorious end, that you might reflect my image. When the fire has passed, you will not only be healed, you will be transformed. You will not only rise, you will shine. You will not only survive, you will live in power. And when others look at you, they will not see ashes, but the light of the one who raised you from the dust. The fire is not a period, it is a new chapter. It is where faith is forged, faithfulness proved, and grace multiplied. When you grasp this, you will no longer fear the flame, for you will know that each time it comes, it is an invitation to become more like me. Believe, stand firm, and watch my glory revealed through you. For when the fire has finished its work, only light remains. And that light, that is me living in you forever, my beloved. When the fire has passed and the storm has grown still, you may find yourself standing among ashes where it seems nothing remains. All that once felt familiar and safe has been burned away. I know you look around and see only emptiness, as though all is lost. But hear me, child, ashes are not the end. They are the soil where new life begins. For in the ash the seed of faith will rise again, stronger, deeper rooted, and more true than ever before. I know there are days when you feel dry, when prayers seem unanswered, when your faith hangs by a thread. But even then I am still there. In the middle of ashes I am still breathing life. You may not hear me, but I am speaking. You may not see the light, but I am shining. For my light does not come from what surrounds you, but from what's within you, from the place where fire has refined you and faith has taken root. Do not search for me in what is past. Find me in what is rising. What you call loss, I call clearing the way. I must remove the old so that the new can have room to grow. If I had not allowed the fire, you would never know how much light your soul could hold. I am not making you lose. I am making you new. As a tree is pruned to bear stronger shoots, so I allow certain things to be cut away so that true life may spring forth. Do not mourn the branches that have dried, they only hinder your bloom. Look closer at the ashes, for within them lies life. The ashes of yesterday are the soil for tomorrow's flowers. You thought the fire consumed everything, but in truth, it restored the fertility of your soul's ground. You are standing on holy earth, the place where death has surrendered and life has triumphed. You think you are weak, but in truth you are being reborn. I am reshaping you, rebuilding you, laying new foundations within you. You are no longer the one who fell. You are the one rising from dust with strength born of heaven. I know there are nights you look up and ask, Lord, can I live again from here? And I say to you, yes. Not only live, but live abundantly. For the life I give is not mere breath, it is purpose, hope, and an unquenchable flame. I am the one who called Lazarus from the tomb, and I am calling your soul from silence. Hear my voice, child, for I do not speak to your flesh, but to your spirit within. When I say, live, everything dead in you will rise. I do not deny that there is pain, breaking, and tears. But tears do not extinguish light, they make it shine brighter. I saw you bow in sorrow, but in that very moment I laid my hand upon your shoulder. When you thought no one could understand, I understood more deeply than you yourself. And when you believed your strength was gone, I said, your strength may end, but mine does not. I do not wait for you to be strong before lifting you up. It is when you are weak that I make you strong. It is among the ashes that I plant the seed of life. There are things, child, that must die so new life can emerge. You cannot carry yesterday's ashes into tomorrow's dawn. I do not want you to rescue what I have already finished. Let it rest. Let the past lie where it belongs. Do not cling to relationships, dreams, or images I have allowed to fade. If I let the fire take them, it is because they no longer serve the road I am opening ahead of you. You are not being stripped, you are being freed. Resurrection is not returning to what was, but becoming entirely new. I never rebuild you in the old shape, for the old form could not contain the light now within you. When I say rise, I invite you into a deeper dimension of life, where your soul is no longer bound by fear or expectation. Let my breath blow through your ashes, and you will see the wonder flowers blooming where ruins once stood. My child, I am not merely restoring what you lost, I am renewing who you are. I am not just rebuilding the walls, I am constructing an entire city within you. You are not only one who has been rescued, you are a living witness of resurrection power. When you rise from the dust, others will know that I am real, not through your words but through your life. For people may doubt knowledge, but they cannot deny transformation. And your transformation will become the lamp that guides many wandering souls home. I know there will be moments you want to turn back to reclaim what is gone, to mend what is torn. But understand this, I am not calling you backward, I am calling you forward. The past has no room for you because you were made for the new. Every closed door is not punishment but protection. Some roads I let crumble because I never meant for you to walk them again. Trust that you are not abandoned among ashes. You are being called into light. Light does not arrive all at once. It begins as a flicker, then spreads until it fills everything. Do not rush. Resurrection takes time. When I work within a soul, I am never in haste. I move gently, healing, restoring, piece by piece. Let me do this for you. Do not force the process. Rest in it, for while you wait, I am working wonders. While you think you're still, I am shaping your new season. And when the time comes, light will flood your life, not by your striving, but by my word. Ashes are no longer a symbol of defeat, but a testimony of rebirth. They say you have walked through fire, endured, and yet remain proof that I am faithful. The marks of the past will not be erased, but turned into patterns of grace, like the scars of a warrior, not hidden but gleaming. Every scar will remind you I have healed you. Lift your head amid the ashes. Do not gaze at what is gone. Look at what is rising. The sun of grace is dawning. The morning of your soul is near. Everything I have promised I will fulfill. You will laugh again, love again, believe again. But this time differently, with freedom, with wisdom, with light. My beloved, when the first rays of light break through the last clouds, your soul will understand that everything I allowed has led you here to this sacred place where you and I are one. This is no longer the journey of survival, but of union. You no longer seek me outside, for I now live within you. The light you see is not from the horizon, but from your own soul. For I, the eternal light, have chosen to dwell in you. When I shine, darkness has no refuge, and every fear that once bound you dissolves. Eternal light is not a reward after trial. It is your truest nature revealed. From the beginning I engraved that light in you. Over the years, dust, fear, and pain have hidden it. The fire came to burn away that covering, and now the light within you shines unveiled. Let it blaze. Do not hide it. You were not created to dwell in shadow, but to bear witness to my radiance. You need not force yourself to shine, just abide in me, and light will flow from you like breath. This light is not only to guide you, but to lead others. Every time you walk in love, you carve a path for those still groping in the dark. When you forgive, you shine. When you love, you shine. When you show compassion, you shine. True light never boasts, yet it cannot be hidden. Though the world may try to cover it with slander, misunderstanding, or hurt, it pierces through all, for my light cannot go out. Light is not only joy and peace, it is also understanding the recognition of me in all things. When your soul is united with my will, you will no longer fear the future, for you will know that all I do is good. You will no longer resist change, for you will trust the hand that arranges all things. You will no longer grieve loss, for you will perceive purpose in every event. This is eternal light, the illumination of spiritual understanding, where you are no longer moved by emotion, but led by my Spirit. My child, remember that light does not only illuminate the mind, it burns within the heart. It makes you a living lamp. Every word you speak, every act you take, every glance you give, carries my warmth. You will not need to prove your faith. Your faith will shine on itself through the way you live. Each step you take will leave the imprint of life. Every place you touch will bear the mark of heaven. When you are united with my will, you will no longer pray, "Let my will be done," but "Father, let your will be done on earth as it is in heaven." And when those words become the pulse within your chest, you will see that heaven is no longer far away, it is within you. Many think light appears only when all is well, but the eternal light still shines even while you walk through the night. It does not depend on circumstance, it depends on the one who dwells in you. When you are one with me, you learn to shine even in trial. True light does not fear the dark, for it is light itself that drives darkness back. When you walk by faith, when you choose love, though you have been hurt, when you keep peace in the storm, you are living in the eternal light. I want you to know that light not only shines outward, it draws hearts home. It calls the weary back to their source. When they look at you, they will sense a peace they had forgotten. They may not understand why, yet they will be drawn. That is me shining through you to gather my children back. Do not fear that you are too small to be used, for light need not be large, only true. A single candle is enough to break the darkness in a room. And I will use the small light in you to kindle many other hearts. Union with me does not erase your identity. On the contrary, in me you recover your truest self. I do not erase you, I perfect you. Every gift, every talent, every dream you carry will be refined to serve my glory. You do not need to become someone else. You need only become yourself, the very self I shaped from the beginning. When you live as I designed, the light within you will be stronger than ever. And the world will see me in you, not merely hear about me. Light does not strive to defeat the dark. It simply appears and darkness yields. So you do not need to strain to prove your worth. Abide in me, and everything else will find its place. As you shine in silence, I will do the rest. Light never needs noise to be noticed. It needs only steadiness, and time will bear witness. Trust the presence of the light within you, even when others do not yet perceive it. They cannot truly see what only the soul can feel. My child, when you step into the eternal light, you will no longer plead with me as with a distant God. You will speak with me as with a close friend. You will no longer see me as a destination, but as the way itself. Every breath, every thought, every movement in you will keep time with mine. Then fear will have no voice, for it cannot exist where light abides. The past will no longer bind you, for it has been washed in glory. The future will no longer be dim, for my light goes before you. This is what I want you to remember. You are not only saved from darkness, you are called to bear the light. Not only to live in grace, but to become a channel through which grace flows. Not only to receive love, but to become living proof that love is real. As you walk in this union, you will cease to be a victim of circumstance and become a messenger of the kingdom. You will speak, and your words will carry power. You will touch, and life will flow. You will simply be present, and peace will spread. For I am in you, and you are in me. My child, the eternal light has no sunset. It does not fade dim or dull. It shines across every age, through every sorrow and every trial, and remains as radiant as at the first. When you live in that light, you no longer fear the night. Even in darkness, you know the sun still stands, only hidden for a moment. So it is with the seasons. When I seem silent, I am still present, still working, still loving. Keep the light in your heart, for it is the lamp that will lead you through every season. And one day, when you look back on the flames, the ashes, the tears, the laughter, you will see that all of it was my footsteps within you. Nothing was wasted, no pain was without meaning. Everything has woven into the light that now shines from you. You have become living proof that darkness cannot conquer light, that ashes cannot prevent life, that the flame cannot destroy a soul I love. Now that the light in you is fully kindled, I speak to you of calling the final call, not to stop, but to be sent. You have passed through darkness, through fire, through ashes, and you have risen in light. This is no longer only a time to receive. It is the hour to go forth bearing my flame. For light was not made to stay in one place. It must go out and illumine the hidden corners of the world. You are no longer only one who has been healed. You are a bearer of healing. No longer only one who has been comforted. You are a bearer of comfort. No longer only one who has been saved. You will carry salvation to others through your very life. I have waited for this moment when you are quiet enough to hear, steady enough to stand, and bright enough to be sent. Many are called, but not all are ready. You are ready because you have passed through my furnace, and its fire has made you true. You know loss, so you will know how to love authentically. You know loneliness, so you will know how to comfort the alone. You know brokenness, so you will know how to mend another soul. Nothing you endured was meaningless, it was preparation. I have forged you in secret, that you might stand in the world without being swept away. Calling is not a task, it is a life. It is not a title, it is breath. When I say go, I do not send you with a burden but with power. You will not walk alone, for I will be with you. Every word you speak will carry weight, not because of eloquence, but because my spirit fills your words. Every act will carry healing, not because you are strong, but because my love flows through you. You need not be perfect to be used. You need only obey. For in obedience, I give power. And if anyone asks, why did I choose you? The answer is this: because you let me make you good soil. You did not resist the fire. You did not flee the trial. You did not refuse my instruction. You allowed me to reach the deepest places where few permit me to enter. Therefore now I place upon you a holy charge. Be a voice of hope in desolate places. You will go into barren lands, where souls thirst for a word from heaven, and you will bring not mere knowledge but life. You will speak love where hatred reigns forgiveness, where resentment roots peace, where confusion rages. And each time you do, the darkness will retreat. My child, a true calling can never be separated from love. If you lose love, you lose your direction. If you act only out of duty, you will run dry. But when you act out of love, new strength will always rise within you. I do not ask you to carry the weight of the world. I ask you to carry my heart. When you love others with the love I have placed in you, you will touch them in their deepest places. You do not need to save the whole world, only love it with my heart. For love travels farther than sermons, speaks louder than miracles, and endures longer than fleeting glory. I know you will face opposition, misunderstanding, and criticism, but do not let these make you weary. The world once rejected me, so it will not easily embrace you. Yet remember, I did not send you to be liked, but to bring light. Light does not ask darkness for permission to shine, it simply appears, and darkness disappears. So be that light. Even when others do not understand, keep loving. Even when you are rejected, keep praying. Even when you are hurt, keep walking. For your calling does not come from human approval, but from my own mouth. Do not fear that you lack talent or knowledge. My power does not flow through credentials or positions, but through a surrendered heart. When you open your mouth, I will place my words upon your lips. When you take a step, I will guide your feet. When you grow weak, I will become your strength. When you do not know what to do, I will grant wisdom from heaven. Each step you take is part of the path I designed for you. You cannot lose your way so long as you walk with me. Know this calling is not a privilege, it is a covenant. I do not call you to exalt you, but so that others may see me through you. Do not seek fame, for true glory is not found in praise, but in fulfilling the Father's will. Do not expect an easy road, for those who are chosen must often walk against the wind. Yet in every adversity, I will be your strength. When you stumble, I will lift you. When you are lonely, I will whisper. When you cry, I will wipe your tears. And when you feel you cannot go on, I will remind you that your feet are not walking alone. They are carried by me. This final calling is not for the hesitant. It is for those who dare to believe that love is stronger than fear. I call you not to preserve yourself, but to reveal me. Let the world see life in you, a life not born of flesh, but of my spirit. When you walk among the crowds, among the noise and deceit, remember who walks beside you. You are not sent to blend in, but to stand among them as a lamp. You do not need to shout, you only need to be real. Truth has more power than volume. When you live with integrity in a deceitful world, you preach without words. When you hold peace in chaos, you declare my kingdom. When you choose forgiveness where revenge is expected, you show that light still wins. Do not fear being small. One lamp cannot light the whole earth, but it can guide one lost soul. And if each of my children holds a lamp, darkness will have no place left. Do not seek big stages, shine right where you stand. When you speak a kind word to the weary, when you listen to the hurting, when you hold the hand of the hopeless, you are doing heaven's work. Those small things are great in my eyes. I know there will be days when you feel tired, when kindness seems unnoticed, when your light seems unvalued, but do not let that stop you. True light does not fade because people look away. It keeps shining. I do not measure your worth by their reaction, but by your faithfulness. Keep shining even when unseen. Keep loving even when unloved. Keep praying even when results are hidden. For I see, I hear, and I remember. Among the crowds you will see much that grieves your heart, selfishness, deceit, injustice. Yet do not let that close your heart. I did not send you to condemn their sin, but to reveal my mercy. Love does not ignore wrong, but it sees deeper to the fear, the wound, the longing beneath. Look at others through my eyes. When you see them through love, you will know that no one is too far to be saved, no one too broken to be restored. Light does not avoid darkness. It was made to enter it. Do not seek comfort to shine. Go where I send you, to the cold, the wounded, the forgotten, for there your light will shine brightest. I walked into lepers' homes to touch them, into sinners' houses to dine with them, and in such places grace was revealed. You are called to do the same, to walk where others turn away, to touch souls. The world ignores, to love those the world calls unworthy. Go then, my child, carry the flame, carry the love, carry the life. The world does not need more arguments, it needs light. And wherever you go, remember this, you do not walk alone, for I, the light of the world, walk within you. My child, do not think you must be perfect before you can help someone. The very wounds I have healed in you will become windows through which light shines. Those who suffer understand the suffering. When you recount how I rescued you, they will recognize hope. You do not need lofty words. Simply tell what I have done in you. The truth itself carries more power than 1,000 sermons. For a true testimony does not come from lips alone, but from a life transformed. I want you to learn to love without conditions, to give without expecting return. When you love, you will be hurt, but do not be afraid. Better a heart that knows pain because it loves than a heart that has died from fear. Every time you love unconditionally, you show the world my image. Every time you forgive, you draw heaven nearer. Every time you embrace a fragile soul, you open the door of the kingdom. Do not seek your reward here, for the true reward is not in human hands but in my heart. When you sow among the world, you may not see the harvest at once, but I promise not a single seed is lost. You may sow in tears, but I will cause you to reap in songs. You may be misunderstood, but I will vindicate you in my time. Never think the work you do is small. One act of love can alter the destiny of a soul, and a single soul saved is enough to make heaven rejoice. Do not let the crowd lead you astray. Amid the noise of the world, keep your ear close to my voice. When you do not know what to say, be silent and listen. When you do not know where to go, look to the light within you, for it is I who dwell there. I will lead you to the right person, the right place, the right moment. Nothing is random in my design. Every encounter, every handshake, every glance can become an occasion for light to spread. My child, when you shine, some will draw near to you, and some will turn away. Do not let that unsettle you. Light is not tasked with being admired, but with guiding the way. Some will see the light and find the path home. Others will avoid it because they are not yet ready. Let them go. Do not be sad. Your work is to shine. Who receives the light is my part. When the light in you spreads to others, they too will become light. As one candle shares its flame with another, the fire does not lessen, it grows more radiant. So too, when you share love, you do not lose, you gain. One day you will look back and see that the small lamp in your hand has illumined an entire region of darkness, not by your strength, but because I am in you. My child, keep that light pure. Do not let it be mingled with pride or calculation. My light needs no display. It needs truth. Do not seek to impress, seek to influence. True power is not that you make others admire you, but that you help them sense me. When you live honestly, when you are humble, when you choose to bow low, that light will grow ever clearer. Amid the multitudes, you are not merely a passerby, you are one who is sent. You are not only an observer, you are a bearer of mission. You are not just a lamp, you are the reflection of the sun of righteousness. Go with a tender heart, open hands and eyes that discern the good even in the sinner. For I saw the good in you when no one else did, and now I call you to do the same for others. And when the day ends, when you are weary and feel that your work has come to nothing, remember everything you do for love resounds in eternity. A single prayer, a single tear, a single sincere embrace, all are inscribed in heaven. For you are not merely living among this world, you are sowing for the everlasting. My beloved child, now that the journey has reached its fullness, now that the fire in you burns bright and the light in you shines clear, I come to speak a final word, not an ending, but a sending in blessing. For every ending in me is not a period, but the opening of a new path. You have learned to stand in the fire, to believe in the night, to love through tears, and to be united with my will in all things. Now you are ready. When I look into your soul, I see no more ash, no more fear, no more the old dust of yesterday, only a pure light reflecting my image. You are no longer merely the rescued, you are the sent. You are no longer only a petitioner of blessing, you are a bearer of blessing. You no longer search for meaning, your very life has become meaning. And I, the Creator, the Father, the Redeemer, stand before you today to set upon you the final seal of heaven. My child, listen closely, for these words will remain with you forever. I give you the blessing of peace, the peace not given by man, not produced by the world, but flowing from my own heart. This peace will guard your mind when confusion surrounds you. It will steady your heart as you pass through storms. It will remind you that though the world may change, I do not. This peace is the armor of the soul, the breath of grace. Wear it each day as a warrior of light. I give you the blessing of wisdom, not the wisdom of books or human learning, but the understanding of the Holy Spirit. It will help you discern between what is good and what only seems good, between my voice and the world's. It will teach you to wait for the right time, to speak the right word, to take the right path. This wisdom comes not in clamor, but in stillness. Whenever you grow quiet, you will hear me say, "This is the way, walk in it," and you will lose your way no more. I give you the blessing of love, a love that sees others through the eyes of heaven. This love will enable you to forgive even when wounded, to give even when depleted, and to trust, even when everything falls apart. This love will shape you into my likeness day by day, for God is love. 1 John 4:8. When you love with this love, you will heal the world around you without striving. Love does not need to fight. It needs only to be present. My child, I give you the blessing of holy boldness, that you might not fear the dark, nor tremble before the foe, nor retreat before the trial. I place within you the spirit of a spiritual warrior, not to fight against people, but to conquer within. When the storm rises, you will not shake, for you know who rules the tempest. When the world quakes, you will stand firm, for your foundation is the rock everlasting. When others despair, you will speak hope. When night spreads, you will shine. I give you the blessing of joy, not a fleeting gladness, but a deep rejoicing in the soul. This joy does not depend on circumstance, for it springs from knowing you belong to me. Whether you have little or much, whether you are praised or forgotten, this joy will flow like an unfailing stream. When you smile through sorrow, you bear witness that heaven lives within you. When you sing in the night, you tell the world that true faith endures. I give you the blessing of perseverance, for the road ahead will not be easy. There will be moments you feel alone, yet you are never by yourself. There will be moments you feel weak, yet my strength is made perfect in that weakness. There will be moments you do not understand, yet do not fear. I understand for you. Walk step by step, even small and slow, but do not stop. Every step you take is a step of victory. I also give you the blessing of faithfulness, that you may keep your heart when others change, stand firm when promises seem delayed, and love me even when feeling fades. Faithfulness is a rare gem in this world, but a crown in my kingdom. Whoever is faithful in little, I will set over much. And you, my faithful one, will see flowers bloom in the desert, water spring from the rock, and life rise where others saw only death. Never forget that you belong to me. No power can snatch you from my hand. No accusation can separate you from my love. Wherever you go, I am there. When you fail, I still wait. When you are weak, I still call you strong. When you stumble, I still see in you the light of hope. You are not only my beloved child, you are living proof that grace triumphs over sin, that love triumphs over death, that heaven can dwell in a human heart. I do not send you with empty hands. Within you I have placed the seed of the kingdom. Everywhere you set your foot, that seed will be sown. It may not sprout at once, but one day you will behold a field of golden grain, souls, life, faith, and love restored. Then you will know that not a drop of sweat was wasted, not a prayer forgotten, not a tear fallen outside my sight. My child, do not look back. The past has been redeemed, the present sanctified, and the future written in light. Walk in peace, live in love, serve in humility. Let my words resound in your heart each morning. My child, today I am with you, and each night hear my whisper, "Well done, my child." And now I lay my hand upon your head and bless you. May the blessing of the Father, the love of the Son, and the presence of the Holy Spirit be with you now and forevermore. May your eyes always see the good, your ears always hear my voice, your hands always be ready to lift the weary, and your heart always remain tender to love. May the light within you never go out, though the world may change. May every step you take bear the imprint of heaven, my beloved child. Now I send you not away from me, but with me. Go and be a witness of love. Go and bring light into places still shadowed. Go and sow hope where only ashes remain. Etch upon your heart my word today. Rise and walk, for I am with you to the very end of the age. Thank you for listening to today's message. Please subscribe and turn on notifications so we can continue to receive the living word together, build unshakable faith, and walk in the boundless love of the Lord. Amen.